chapter 18, the angel. I'll do the probably more comprehensive version tomorrow. I'm going to keep it short today, give you the short version. We'll talk about fear. Now, I talk about it from different angles. Now, you take that little broadcast they gave today, little shit cast they gave today, a so-called NOI, Farrakhan's Nation of Idiots. See, they're in a state of fear now. The whole thing is designed, I mean, they're so stupid over there. It's designed, life after death, to tell you, they've been saying it for years, but now they think they're pretty sure they've been saying it when I was over there checking what they was doing a few years back when Obama was on the scene, right? They thought Farrakhan was demise was on the horizon, but now they're pretty sure, because I haven't heard from him for months since I told you he was in trouble. Before anybody, they haven't revealed it yet, but I told you months ago. I said Farrakhan's diagnosed with dementia, right? And we haven't heard from him since then. So he's in decline. He's not going to die until this war breaks out, right? So he's going to be that lucky. But now they're pretty sure. That's why no one's heard from him. And so what they're trying to tell you is like, he ain't really dead. So you go life after death. I mean, you still get starlight after star is dead. They're so stupid. They're paying you for he's not being around. And Lion Ishmael talking about, you get me, your talk back to all that stupid stuff he went to. Nobody's gonna follow that clown out of a burning building. The building could be on fire. He could be standing at the exit door, the only exit door out there, and they said, let's come out, they wouldn't follow him because he's so stupid. And he's got a painful, not I don't use that word chastisement because chastisement infers as correction. He's got severe punishment. Severe. You can't imagine him and all the rest of them. Severe punishment coming. So as that war breaks out, and that war breaks out anytime now. They can't, I explained to you, they can't control it. They can only control the quality of it. They can't control the timing. They can't control, right? That's going to happen. Because the process of the universe contracting and energizing, I explain all that. So it's going to happen. They're going to change the quality. And if you ask me, well, no, I don't want to go into kind of that complication right here, but I said the dilemma right now is they got the dilemma because I said this whole, there's confusion over there, derision, because everybody got a different timetable for different reasons. But fear, and fear is already, right? Because that's why Trump was elected out of fear. I mean, just by definition, make America great again means we're losing control of America. We're in fear, so he's gonna get it back for us. He's a candidate, right? An icon of fear. He's promising he's gonna remove their fear. He's a prescription for their ailment. And they said, give him a try, because no one else. If you're sick, somebody say, man, if you right, you got a severe headache, and there's no medication, and somebody comes say, man, I got something, you're going to listen, because you don't see anything else out there. I'll try that. Anything, man. Get this pain off of me. Because everybody tell you, hey, everything is great. But they fear. And they fear us most of all. And how Negro brothers and sisters out there don't know any better, they don't realize that. They're being friendly with you now, all this stuff, because they're in fear. And they want to talk to you because they want to see that you're not going to rise up on them. It says that was their fear that that when the war breaks out, that you would turn against them. And you have every right to. You have consequence. You are the consequence. Let's move on. So keep it short. I plan to do the full version tomorrow. But a lot of things they're saying, right? Okay. I mean, that's all about anticipating Farrakhan's demise. And lately I've been tending to fall asleep on them because that's hard to stay awake with that BS. And they did 2.5 hours today, boy. They're desperate over there. He's still accusing us. See? Ungratefulness and all this stuff. The other thing is, if you're going to be grateful for anything, if you have any idea what's going on here, you have one thing to be grateful for. If you can be, that you have a ladder out of here. Remember Jacob's ladder. Who gives you that ladder? Nobody gave me the ladder. They gave me the blueprint for it. That's the INJIL. I had to build it. I got to build that ladder. And you got to climb it. Out of this hell, home. You got to climb it. Some of you don't want to climb. You want somebody to carry you. But see, my situation, you build something at the bottom and the top, right? Bottom up. So by the time I finish building, I'm at the top. So I don't have to climb it. I've already climbed it. I've already built it. See? But you got to climb it. That's tribulation. And you don't want to climb it. You want somebody to lift you up, or you want an elevator or whatever, or somebody to come down and want me to come down and pick you up and carry. That's not going to happen. That's what some people want. They want the Lamb to come back and walk through tribulation. No, we said he was taken out here. The elect was taken out here. See? And that's the idea. Oh, well, no. You got to climb that ladder yourself, period. You don't want to climb it, you stay down here. I don't see anybody doing much climbing lately, I tell you. So you're going to be grateful for that. If you're able to climb that ladder, that's the only way out of here. I tell you, that's the only way out of here. Only way. Only way home. Climb that ladder. But this fear, like I explained it, I'm going to go on a little more about this. Thing is that you put fire to something, right? You put fire to water. Water starts boiling. So it wasn't even if it was ice, they put ice, it turns into water. It's not boiling, it turns to steam. Now it's more concrete, more solid when it's ice. But when it's water, right, it's still in control, but it's flowing. It's hard to control it, right? But it still have form, right? That's what America is right now. It's like water, waves, this direction, like weather. Everybody's going different direction, all this stuff happening. See? Because it's hot. It's happening on false Israel. They're talking about a civil war over there. You can understand, if you understand pressure and vectors, this stuff is very clear. The INJIL is just giving more details because it's based on that mathematics. See? So what you talking about? They're talking about turmoil, political turmoil over this worse than here. See? So it's water, but it's getting hotter, hotter, hotter. That means they burn everything around. That's what they do. They burn everything around them. Guys and everything, burn everything. So water's boiling. Burn everything. See, because you don't see it right. You say, oh man, look at that kicking ass. No. They boiling. When you boil something, it's burning up everything. It's scars and, right? Burns. That's what they're doing over the Palestinians, burning. Right? And then what happens? Then it turns into steam. See? Because as it's boiling, it gets less and less control. It's harder and harder to control it. Then harder and harder to control what's going on in false Israel. The military is rebelling. People leaving the country, right? The military is right? It's balking. See? Because it's bubbling. It's hard and hard to control it. Now, it's hard and hard to control it. And then what's turning to steam, he had no control at all. But as long as it was at least water, right? They had control of the environment around it because the environment had to fit around that water. You know what I'm saying? If you take a balloon, that means the air has to change form to incorporate that balloon because the balloon is displacing the air. And so right now, they still water and they're moving, they're roaming. They're going here, going here, going everywhere. They're from waves flowing, everything else. You see, see the math of it? Okay. But as long as there's water, they're displacing everything around, so they still have control of things around it. Because the balloon is really controlling the air around it, because the air around it has to take the form of that balloon. So everything around it has to take the form of false Israel. See? But then when they turn up steam, they don't have any form anymore. So they don't control the form of the things around. Okay? So like the balloon bust, air rushes in, bam, like a big boom, like a collapse, vacuum, like with sonic boom. That's exactly what's going to happen. I teach you, understand the math. That's exactly what happened. That's the math. That's perfectly how the math it says. So once they turn it, because once that war happens, because I mean they get hotter, hotter, hotter. They can't control it. I said the control is the way the universe works. So there's nothing they can do to stop it. They can talk, everything. They can do whatever they want to, but it's not going to happen. Because we know what's going to happen. It's just their quality of how they deal with it. But it's still going to happen. It's happening right now. So in a minute, when that war starts, that means it got so hot, right? Because remember, they get hotter and hotter. They're colliding. So now they burn it, and they burn the whole region. Had the whole region on the flames in a minute because it's so hot. Them in America, and the whole region inflamed. And at that point, when they get inflamed, that's when they turn to steam. They have no control of the air around them. Boom! Big collapse because everybody around them closing on them. Wipes them out. They have no control. All the systems that break down. America, they get totally, power's broken. They're fleeing out of there. The ones that can get out. The rest of them, big boom. That boom, that shock wave is going to send fear across the planet, especially in America. Oh, man, my heart. Oh, goddamn. See? Man's heart failing. That bomb. Boom. Especially when false Israel goes down. Boom. A big sonic boom. Bam. Okay. Totally is wiped out. That boom going to hit him, shock. And, oh, man. What it means. Okay? But it's going to wake up Lazarus. Wake Lazarus up. Oh, goddamn. See? At that time, America's starting to turn to steam too. Not yet. Just about. So they lose control. See? So they said the demon born, all this stuff, lose control. So eventually they turn to steam. So they had no control of America at all. They said wise men being out holding their grounds as a woman in her labor. And that's so they can't control the air around them anymore, the nations around them anymore. Boom! It's as simple as that, brothers and sisters. About to hear a sonic boom out the Middle East. Folks, they're going to lose total control. They can lose total control. They cannibalize. They said, my father beat the son, everything else going to be totally terrible. So lose control. Yeah. Close his arms. Crush him. Let me show you something else, see? See here? Vectors. And see this out, people right here. Vertical, right, upright. Upright. Okay. Now, but why are they going this direction here now? Say, oh. Well, let me change something. I'll make this a little more dramatic. Give me a second here, brothers and sisters. I talk about something that's a little more dramatic. I want to take about a second. Okay. Okay, I think that'll work. Let's just see. Okay. Look at this way, brothers and sisters. See? This is our people. This way normally go upright, right? You look over and say, why are they going like this? Why are you going crooked? So, Farrakhan says, see, you're wicked. You got to start going right again. You're wicked. See, you're wicked. You got to repent. That's him. They get all the crap about Mean Man March. See, first of all, he didn't organize the Mean Man March. That was all the Christian preachers. They worked together on that. But he took credit. It's like it was his idea and his, no, because most people there weren't his people. 90% of people, 99% of people there was Christian preachers that worked with him on this, their congregation. And so he took credit for it. So the second time he called it, they didn't show up, and nobody showed up. And they had men, women that showed up, they still couldn't get anywhere near a million. Don't talk about that one. Because if it was great, if you come out with a hit, man, that's jamming, man. Right? See, what's that song? Everybody have a good time, die, whatever, right? That's a hit. Next time he come, hey man, God made, you gonna buy it? Because he said, man, that first one was, well, that was the bomb. So you're gonna buy the next one, right? Because you say, based on how good that first one was. So if that was the case, how come the second was even a bigger? No, second was a flop. Total flop. That's when I'm talking about it. See, he's a flop, he's a fake. Oh, Farrakhan, he's the one. He said, and they're so stupid. Oh, well, they said people in the dark seen a great light, right? Okay. They say, well, how come our people don't see the light? Farrakhan put the light, right? Farrakhan, how come I see? Because he ain't the light. I mean, how come people in the dark see the great light? And he says, well, how come people ain't seen the light? They said, people in the dark, they seen a great light. So, I mean, this statement right there. But, well, because he ain't the light. He's a lying dog that follows the devil. Okay, but see here? So he says, so he blamed out people, see, why are you going crooked? Look, you acting, turn red, you acting ugly. Wicked. God's going to get you. You need to repent. See, that's why I said you need to study vectors. Because, see, they stupid over there. They don't know about vectors. They don't know about mathematics. They're just pulling crap out of their ass and calling it honey. And they got a lot of people going along with it. They said, honey must be honey, man. Must something wrong with my taste buds. Right? See, what they don't see is this. See, they was going this direction. So now they're going this direction. Why? Because of this. Vector, that's the devil's. See, but he dismissed this. He don't see his part. Yeah, look, they're going crooked. Because they're exposed to this vector. And that's because we hear, that's why we need to leave so we can start going, because that's our natural way. But if you force, another force acting on you, it's going to force change. Like if you're going down the road at 100 miles an hour, and you're going northward, and there's a westward wind, you're going to be going off to, you're going to be moving off to the west. That's just the way it works. That's mathematics. So they say, why are you going to the west, man? Well, there's a westward wind. That's why. Well, I don't see no wind. You just don't know how to drive. See, because if you don't see the wind, you say, oh, that guy don't know how to drive. I mean, look, he could be going straight, look, he's going sideways. See, that shows their ignorance. That says, solid man would justify his people, because we are going in the right direction. The point is, we got a vector for us, and once that vector is removed, we move right back in the right direction again. See? So NJ give you the minds to get out of here, so now you can be going this vector goes. Because long as our people are here, only two things can happen. They gotta leave to get rid of this vector, or this vector has to be destroyed. And Master Muhammad is going to destroy this vector. That's why we come together as a great army. Because we're a great army now, it's just that we got a vector that's keeping us divided with the demons and everything else. How you gonna come together like that unless you done it already? How you even have great wealth unless you have great wealth already? It's a vector's affecting it. And once you leave out of here, that vector not affecting. Now you realize the great wealth you have. Once that vector is destroyed, all of a sudden you become a great army because you're a great army to begin with. You just had that vector was exposed that vector. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. It's simple mathematics. And told you to fear. Hearts man failing for fear of those looking after those things which are coming upon the earth. That's that sonic boom they're going to hear in a minute. Right? When they turn the steam over there, boom! Because when that balloon, when they pop that balloon, what you hear, that pop sound, that's not the balloon. That's the air closing in where the balloon was. The faster that balloon comes out, the louder the sound's going to be. The bigger that balloon is, the louder the sound's going to be. It's a big balloon, boom, big, a little smaller. Because you're not hearing the balloon, you're hearing that air pressure rushing in because the balloon was displacing the air. So you're going to see Iran closing in, boom! Shock waves. They're going to feel it and hear it. See it and hear it, rather. That's what I meant. And feel it. Because they're going, ooh. Something is shaking, you usually hear it. But anyway, that's another story. See what I'm saying? And America turned, big bomb, shock hour. America turned to steam. The people of tribulation, they're going to walk through steam. Be no control here. Only to be, here my life, maybe I speak to that because, Let me say this and I'm going to move on, brothers and sisters. This is a little complicated here. But it says, Suleiman was the hope of the Gentiles. Now think about it. Now Adam was given rule. He was told if he obeyed this rule, he said he would be unjust unless he touched that tree. So the oppression of us wasn't unjust because that oppression. Remember I talked about action reaction? The reaction was our being transformed to diamonds. So there was no reaction. That was the reaction. So they didn't get any consequence for that because actually it was hard, but it served our purpose. It takes intense pressure. The Chief Hodge took team pressure to transform coal to a diamond. In that regard, I'll get off. If you bring in remember you get a diamond mine, then you bring in a diamond world. That means diamonds are precious, right? But in the diamond world, diamonds are precious, but coal is just fuel for the fire. You get it? So they're gonna try to stop you from that diamond world coming in because diamonds are precious. Everybody loves diamonds. They say, man, hey, it needs some fuel. They grab the coal and throw it in the fire. It's worthless. It's just, that's all it serves, all purpose it serves. You get it? See? So the thing is that if Adam was told the rule, remember, he unjust when he started afflicting us, not mere servant oppressing us, but afflicting us, especially touching our women. That, right? Because that's what he's judging for, being the affliction part. Right? That's what we retaliated for. We're not retaliating for. Why retaliate him? Why retaliate against them from turning us into something better than it was before? No. We can thank him for that. It was hard. But no, it's the affliction side. See? But now if we tore Adam rule and we put why we destroy Adam if he followed the rules. He told me, no fear for you or grief, but they followed it. So what happened is, see, they can't withstand the pressures The pressure right now is overcoming them. And the pressure's going to get intense. The universe is getting more and more pressure. The pressure will increase until for the next 70 trillion years, if you will. Okay? So they could not withstand it right now. They wasn't built for that kind of. So what was going to do? And they obey everything, then be destroyed anyway? No. See, it's hard for some of you to understand. But we have plans to move them to another planet. Because the greatest pressure universe is right here on the earth. If you understand the center. But we have billions of planets out there. Some say even trillions. Because the Christian tells us we're going to have the whole universe. Countless. But we had a planet called Eden. They was going to put them on where they would pressure to be calibrated, where it would never put them in a pressure so great, strong enough, would cause them to go violent. Remember, all this is based on pressure. They become violent because the pressure caused them, the temperature raise the temperature. So you keep the temperature low, they don't get violent. You keep it low, but that violent threshold. But on a planet where the temperature, the pressure would never go past the violent threshold. So they'd be living in peace and harmony there. They couldn't do it here. That was the plan. That's if they obeyed. They couldn't stay here. And the ones that we do keep here, right? They are in total control. Remember the ones we use to docile, or in other words, main control an ecological system, basically, right? But the thing is that was now, well, they almost blow all that. The only nation that might qualify to even fall in that category that may do it, maybe Russia, because they're not buying all this gay stuff and this transgender, and they're trying to hold on to the discipline of the Christianity to the best they can, and that's why all other European nations are opposing them. Now, if they hold on to that, they may qualify, but they can't stay here. That's the bottom line. They can't stay here. And they'd be there, but they wouldn't be, they'd be on a planet where would be no iron, no steel, nothing like that, where they can make crafts to get off of there. They wouldn't be able to get off, they wouldn't ever get off of there. Because we don't want to come back here or whatever. Right? And that's what, so I reveal that to you. That would be their reward. That'd be their heaven. See, where they live in peace. Because what's driving it, right, is not their particular nature, their weak nature, but the point is the pressure. Right? That causes them to collide. The pressure here causes them to be violent, eventually turn into steam. So we got to lower the threshold where that pressure will never get to that level. Move on, brothers and sisters. I thought I'd mention that. But anyway, here's the prescription for fear. I'm going to make America great again. It means I'm going to get control again. When was America great? When they had us in the fields. I told you, it tells Scripture, they're planning, not just America, all the nations are planning our demise. I talked about it yesterday. They're planning our demise. They know if we come in, that's the end of them. Even if we don't come in, they still won't be last much longer because the pressure still will increase. It's just the quality of the pressure will be gone. We would be the consequence, but they still suffer the consequences of pressure. They end up annihilating each other. But we're the consequence. We're the quality of their consequence. Let's move on. And so everything they do will backfire because it's not winter anymore. Notice they try to use that analogy. See, one thing, I don't know if you notice this, brothers and sisters, but I explained to you, whether you like this or not, you hear it still affects you. It's a vector. I'm a vector. You're a vector. We say, you influence me, I influence you. And I can block your influence, right? But the point is, it takes energy to do that. So I'm still being affected by you, ain't I? If I block you, I'm still affected by you because I had to think about to block you, right? So it's to that extent. You have to maintain you being blocked. So that's still having an effect on me. I'm controlling the quality of it, right? Okay. So if you talking to someone, and say you're talking about sports or something, right? Oh, this is something else. So you're talking about a stock market. So you're having a conversation, half an hour, whatever. Then you go talk to somebody else. Well, those concepts of stock markets are on your brain. So when you talk to the other person, it's going to have some of that tone within it. It might say stock market, but some of the concepts are going to affect the way you talk to the other person. The conversation you had over here is going to affect the conversation you have over here. It may not directly. Maybe we're talking about sports, but you might put the financial side of sports into it, right? Or how they make they make so much money, or how people invest in this. You know what I'm saying? Because you was talking about stock market investment over here, so that's going to carry over and have an effect on what you're saying over here. You may not realize it, but because remember, you thinking, so that's part of part of all the things going on in your brain. So every time I talk about something, that tone comes up on the mind. That shows they pay attention to what I'm saying. All of a sudden he's talking about the seasons. You never talked about the season before. Winter season. See, I was like laughing. My wife laughed too. See, because that means they're listening and it's affecting them. And they don't even realize how stupid they are to realize it, because they talk from that point. Because a lot of stuff that I talked about this week and last week, they brought up today. Some of us direct concepts. Oh, now it's winter. Winter's over. Oh, where'd you get that from? You never talked about anything like that before. You know what I'm saying? So they're listening. They've been affected by it. I keep telling you. YouTube and all of them, they do things like they first they keep my views low to make sure people think I'm not paying attention. I don't care, because people that are paying attention, they don't realize they ministers out there, because it's having an effect on. I'm having a vector on their thoughts. See, if thoughts is changed slightly or more dramatically, depends on right the direction of what's their vector. Let's move on. Yep. He's promising, I'm going to alleviate your fear. I'm going to remove the fear. That's what he's saying. We're going to make America great again. We're going to get control of our future. We're going to get control of our economy. If he said you got to get control, it means you don't have control of it. And he's at war with everybody. I remember I told you years ago, they're going to be at odds with Europe. Oh, man, you crazy? Excuse me? Pardon me again? Did J. Farrakhan tell you that? Very specifically, America and Russia is going to be at it. It says, I explain division, I explain America and Russia, the conflict between the two, the conflict between Europe and UK. And now you get the demons, they get riled up. Black folks, remember, they on fire too. That's how they expose themselves. Because they respond to the pressure the same way as devils are. Because they made the same thing. They may be black on the outside. They may be look like a thin film is still on the outside, but they porous on the inside. The devil's on the inside. And so they're responding just like they on fire too. And they get more riled up. And they're going to be at war in a minute. That's what's called the locust war. See? America hit the boiling point, they hit the boiling point too. And then they turn to steam. Hit the boiling point too. And that's one of the ways you're going to expose them. They're getting violent right there now. They're getting more angry, violent. So the meek will inherit the earth. It means peaceful, calm. Well, why would they? They sound opposite. See, the military is strong. The Navy SEALs and no. Them the ones that are weakest because they respond to that pressure. The pressure's causing them to collide, to burn, to get hot, boil, and turn to steam or have no control at all. Steam's no control of steam. All control is just. That's where America's going. Then everything closes, nothing, right? Bloom pops, all the air comes out, boom, right? Just around here, closing, boom, sonic boom. My brothers and sisters. Angel 18. 10 plus 5 is Roman numerals plus 3 is 18. Oh, did I mess up here somewhere? No, I thought I made a mistake somewhere. I didn't. Okay, let's talk about this, and and good, my main, right? I didn't mention this yesterday, but fear none but Allah. See, that's what the Sunnis claim. They full of shit over there. They don't fear Allah. They fear the devils. They fear America. They fear false Israel. See, they talk that shit, but that's bullshit. See, we fear none but Allah. Really? Really? You expect me to believe that? Although it is false over there squeaking, and you probably be lions, right? And you run and hide, ooh, like little cats. Purr, purr. Watch out, man. The little rat gonna get us. They could have closed enough falls a long time ago. They fearful of them, but then they also got the dilemma. Because they fear us too. But they can't tell us that they fear us. They fear that we come together and take our land back. It's a big dilemma going. I try to explain. I think I'm going to take a presentation sometime next week to really go into that dilemma, really get to it, because that's what the confusion is. So they're in derision. Because there's all these conflicts. They want to get us, but they also want to get each other too. But we're the cornerstone of this whole thing. They know they have to take us out. See? But once they take us out, like false Israel knows, once we're gone, they're going to take them out. Because they need them to keep us locked in that cave with a stone rolling over it. That's the whole story about Jesus. They killed him, put him in a cave, in a tomb, and put a stone over it, couldn't get out. And that's the stone is false Israel. So he's sleeping there because he's locked in false. And then soon comes start rolling that cave out, rolling that stone out. So light comes in and see the great light, wakes him up. But you got Ishmael, they pushing against it, trying to keep stone. He's pushing stone away from the cave. Pharaoh kind of hold it, stop him. See, but they can't. I'm getting stronger and stronger. Pretty soon, that rock and roll is gonna roll over them and crush them. So they're scared of America. They're afraid of false Israel. That's what they're afraid of. We tough. Then why you should have took out false Israel long? That's why you're jealous of Iran, because Iran not scared of them. The Shia is not scared of them, but you Sunnis are. I saw this thing, I don't know, on the internet this morning. Guy says, Hadith says 80%. Let me see if I see that real quick. Let me see that real quick. So I said exactly they said it. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Real quick, see. Oops, I want that one. They're going to war in a few more days. Ain't no doubt about that. When they do, that's when everything pops off. What's this? Oh. Okay. I can't find it. I wanted to quote exactly how they said it. Let's check a couple more things here. Okay, and the bottom line is, I wanted to quote exactly how he said it here. And he's saying that the Hadith, this is one of those Sunnis, Hadith said 80% of his followers will go into hell. Now, I talked about this in the past, right? So 80%. So, and the question is, who's the 80%? Well, I mean, how can you get around that one? That guy be the Sunnis. Because they 80% of so-called Islamic world. The Shia is only about 10, 15, 20%. So it means all the Sunnis are going to hell. I told you the jinn. But see, they're so stupid over there. They can't call it like it is, right? Because they call it like it is, they have to expose themselves. See? That's why everybody's is in conflict right now. Because everybody's no, it's not there now. Because they can't read the Bible and the Quran as it says it because they expose themselves. They expose who they are. Yeah, I can't find it. It's not there. I don't see it. Okay. No, okay. Get it. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, like I said, they could have stopped false Israel a long time ago. You know, that's why they was in Syria, because false Israel depended off in the Middle East. So it was run out. So that's why one reason attacked Syria. Trump was stealing the oil from Syria and giving it to false Israel. So they got together and stopped the oil going to false Israel. Because they get it from America. That means that's the end of it. It's like China. China take your military, they didn't take your industrial complex. You gave it to them because they wanted to have it. It's no story together. Moving on, brothers and sisters. Anyway, they full of crap. Fear nobody. No, they fear the little mouse. Falls squeak, squeak, squeak. Plus, they don't know what to do about it anyway because they don't want false Israel to fail, because that means we come together. Because false Israel is the vector that's keeping us from realizing who we are, keeping us from becoming a great army, keeping us from uniting. They understand that too. That's the dilemma that's going on over there. Everybody understands that. They know 50,000 years ago, so everybody's trying to avoid the pain of energy deprivation. And Dr. Shabazz took it head on. He knew if they took it on and they survive it, they would come out diamonds. And they'd still be coal. And like I said, diamonds are precious. Coal is just fuel for the fire. And they knew it. So we got to stop. If they turn the diamonds, throw them in the fire. You know, diamonds burn just like coal do. It's the same. They're the same substance. It's just, diamonds are just harder. They're still coal. It's just hard, real extremely hard coal. That's all it is. That's all a diamond is. Extremely hard coal. And you put it in the furnace, it burns just like coal does. It wouldn't burn any different. And so they say, oh, they turn diamonds, they're going to polish them and show who they are. Throw them in the fire before they burn them, before they burn us up. And I need to say this again, brothers and sisters. That's the beauty. She don't need to advertise. She doesn't need to advertise. Hold on, brothers and sisters here. She don't need to advertise. She do. See, because if you got a good product, it's the best product, you don't need to advertise. Everybody's running. Because they want that product, man. You know, you don't need to advertise. You don't spend money on advertisement because the product is self-advertised itself because it's such good. You don't need to advertise it. You see them advertising the BMWs and Lamborghinis over here? But this have to advertise. See, I got a butt, it's fake. I got lips, it's fake. Hey, I got hair. You had to put, because the hair is lifeless. They had to put stuff in to give life to it. Okay. I got lips, fake. I got a tan, fake. See? Advertise. You don't have to advertise. You got to expose yourself. Okay? They're trying to be like you. They're trying to be like you. And now they got you trying to be like them. That's how they got us all messed up. Tiger chasing his tail. They're trying to be like us, and then we're trying to be like them, who's trying to be like us. That's beauty. The original woman is the definition of beauty. She ain't got to advertise. She got all this tight stuff and everything else to show I got it. We know you got it. We ain't got to prove it. They got to prove it. That's why I wear so damn tight. See? If you got a mind, you don't need to just put on a dress. You can see it. You see right through the dress because it's outline. But if you ain't got one, you got to put tight pants on and everything so you can see it. See, I got a butt. Didn't have one before. Why you got one now? You know, I explained yesterday the technique they used to do it. You know what I'm saying? You got to advertise. You don't need that. But they guys, how women advertise, they don't need to. Okay? These lips are real. They ain't fake. All this is real. Born with it, came, right? See? You have to add anything, came with it, natural. All that's real, every bit of it. Every bit of it. Everything is fake. All of it. My brothers and sisters. Check my sound here. See? Okay, moving to see here. Now, after chapter 8, I'm going to give you a short version. Perhaps tomorrow I'll go to the long version, right? But it's talking about fall of Babylon. See, that's all. Babylon fell, the great. And if you understand your key, it's to my America. Right? Came prison, a place of demons, a prison of every clean out spirit, that's to my false Israel. And every, unclean spirit, and prison, every bird unclean to my false Israel, have been hated. See? And she's caused the whole world, deceived the whole world, fornication, everything else. And she's getting very rich. That's to my America. See? So I'm not going to break this down in detail, brothers, but you got to watch these things. Babylon, so that's called Babylon the Great. Let's move on. I'm getting a short version. Okay. I should change that, I didn't. And then it's talking about here where she fell. Right here. See? She's fallen. So Babylon the Great represents America. And you got to watch chapter 18 real close, right? Yeah, this shouldn't be. I didn't put the sound to this, brothers and sisters. It says, come out of her, my people. See, what for our country, are we going to stay here? No, it says, come out of her. Come out of her religion. Okay, that's going to stop from being the plagues? It says, you come out of her, you should not together out of her. Okay, that you won't receive her plagues. So you mean, we just stopped your religion. Okay, hold on, let me change something here, bro. I thought I took care of that. I did. Oh. So we just come out her religion, her names, that's gonna stop getting the plagues? Oh. I'm just gonna, a plague coming, but Hey, my name ain't Jamie no more. Oh, his name ain't Jamie. Don't mess. No, come out of her. See, they say no, we gonna stay here. He's alive because remember, he's one of them. He's a devil in black skin, right? So he says, right, come out of her. Get out. Get the hell out of there. Right? And then it says in one day, once this war start happening, right? It says, this one day will come the plagues of her death, mourning, famine, and fires be burned down. This to this amount economic collapse, right? Invasion, right? Heart attacks, fear, and then finally just turn the steam, burn down. And 1 year, once that war starts, within a year, they say take a whole year, within a year, all these plagues will happen. See? And it says, here's right here, that's the demons, right? See? That's the demon wars going on here. And this is the Armageddon. Down here. I'm not showing this. I'm not going into all the details, brothers and sisters. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, I can go to the next one here. Yeah, I work on this quite a bit, so I missed a few things. Okay, see the great in Babylon, see the strong. That's, remember, the other Babylon was two different names. Now this one's called City the Great. That's talking about Europe here. City Strong is talking about Russia. So they think all the same thing. No, Russia. And these are the woes. And when these woes mean total economic collapse as a result of that war. That's chapter 18 is telling you. Total economic collapse as total war. Because we see it, but it doesn't affect Russia. Babylon, City the Strong. I'm not going to explain that right now, but because they always mention this separately, but in this case they've been broken together. Babylon, City the Strong, I told you about it earlier, right? That's not Russia. That did not affect economic collapse, but all the rest of them will. City the Great, that's talking about Europe. Babylon, is regular Babylon, is talking about America. Babylon, the City the Great, is talking about Europe. Babylon, City the Strong, is talking about this one. And there's another Babylon. All of them, woes. I should take it out, but I'll straighten it out tomorrow. City Great again. That's this one. Total economic collapse. And then City Great again. City Great. Right? This city, Babylon, the great city, that's UK. So be thrown into the sea. That's all of them. That's what happened to all of them. Now I'm going to maybe detail when I explain this, but it tells you, it gives you the quality of their economic destruction. Each one is different. This will be thrown into the sea, totally wiped out. See, this one here be thrown down here and at war with these two. Okay. This one will not suffer economic collapse. This one will. So it's telling you, and tells you the nature of it. So that's pretty much it, brothers and sisters. Let me check. got some notes here. Okay, now talk about Daniel, king of the north, king of the south. Now when you read that story about king of the north, king of the south, and you hear what these people are talking about on the internet, about what's happening, what are they saying? They're saying that if America attacks, or false Israel attacks Iran, they're going to come out like a storm. So they got all these missiles, they wipe out everything. Right? And they could take control of the Middle East, and that would cause economic trouble all over the world. It could be this. It could destroy. That's what they're saying. It could destroy false Israel and throw America out the Middle East. That's like what they're saying. If you read these guys, that's what they're saying. That they predicted if America loses, they say America probably will lose. And says they back and forth. American Israel, false Israel, going about who's going to do what. And I told you that's the dilemma there. That's the dilemma, because they have two different agendas. You see? Because America wants to take out false Israel, but they can't take them out until they take us out first. So if you listen to what they're saying, that's exactly what King of the North says. King of the North says King of the South pushing them, and that's what they're pushing at Iran now, aren't they? Aren't America and Britain and false Israel pushing against Iran? And says Iran's going to come back at them like a whirlwind. All these missiles they have, all this tech, and that's what they're saying. If Iran hit Iran will come back like a. They said the only way to make it probably avoid it is come with nuclear weapons. But he said that's what he's saying. That's exactly what the prophecy says. They'll come back as a whirlwind. They said they got 1,000 missiles. They said they wipe out false Israel. They knock out all these other countries. They're going to take these countries down and take over the Middle East. Exactly what the prophecy says. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And I keep telling you, there's nothing they can do. And I tell you, their thoughts is dependent. When you think about it, consciousness is a reaction. Consciousness is a reaction. It's a reaction. A reaction is action itself. Reaction is an action itself, but reaction is an action that's as a result of an action. But it's still an action. That's why reaction, it says action, reaction, because reaction is something else. Something else caused it. It's not the original force, it's a force that caused a reaction. You understand? So when you see all this stuff happening, right, that's affecting their thinking. Everything is a reflection of the pressure. The thing is not causing the pressure. The reaction is pressure, but it depends on the quality of thinking, right? How that pressure works. If pressure causes them to go left or south or east or west, they're still going horizontal. The pressure is vertical, so it doesn't matter. They're still gonna be crushed, right? But they be going crushed going the east direction, or the west direction, or the south direction, or the north direction. They still be crushed. It's just the quality of it. Understand that. So their thinking is only is a reaction to the pressure and so they're in a lot of pressure where they're thinking violently. More clearly thinking more violently. And so who's thinking more violently the most? False Israel. They're just wiping everything out. They're very violent. They don't understand the heat, the fire eventually turns into steam. Gets very hot. That means more collisions. But they can't handle those collisions because they made of porcelain, right? And so they have collisions, great collisions, right, amongst themselves. They're talking about civil war, and collisions become very intense, right? Because it's very hot. Hotter is the more they interact with each other, the more collisions there are. You understand? That's what it means. That's the heat. Heat means you move around things faster and faster and faster. Pressure means they're colliding. The greater collision, the greater pressure. So can you withstand the collisions? So at the point the collision gets so great, even Lamborghini may be made of steel, but if they was going to collect, two Lamborghinis collide, 100 miles an hour, it's going to just kill both of them. He just made still because collisions are so impactful. So that's happening. Collision increases as the heat increases. So there's more collisions, some more turmoil. Right? And then it's the boiling point. Next thing is steam, where it has no structure. You can't control the air around it anymore, the structure of the air around it. Air around it closes in and crushes it. That's exactly what's happening. So their thoughts will be along those lines. If they're in the steam, their thoughts will not be about unity. Their thoughts will be about self-preservation, self-survival. They won't be thinking about unity because they're thinking about, right? They're in steam mode. They're steam thinking, which is not about Hajj, not about unity, anything. It's about trying to save yourself. Cannibalism, anything just keep you alive. That's why I say in hell there'd be no family, what do they say, family ties. What do you mean? It means no structure, because you're steam now. In hell there'd be steam, no structure, no family ties, no relationships. You don't have that. With steam, everything's on its own. Or go for self. Everybody's going for their own, for themselves, period. You understand? Understand the connection. That's why you understand vectors, understand pressure, how it works. That's what's going to happen. So America be totally, and they're only ones that's, right, that was able to maintain a sense of discipline. Those are the only ones that be able to survive. Right? They'd be hot. They'd be hot. But they won't be crushed. They won't turn to steam, so they'd be taking captive all the nations. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. That's the so-called Christians that held on to the law. They try to hold on to it, and some of them are going to join on to the saints in tribulation. They're going to join on to them. Now that they'd be a part of them, they'd be joining on. They follow you, they're going to follow them and try. Right? Because some have survived to be taken captive all the nations, right? But the point is, when they get to the time to get out of here, they don't get a pass. The saints get a pass. That's agreement to be made. I told you in chapter 17, INJIL. Red Sea opens up, let them pass. But that doesn't work for it. So at that point, all the devils that make it to that point, they'll be divided up amongst the goat and us and Esau, because he's going to be with them. So I guess 4 parts. Okay, if it's 1 million of them, I'll take a quarter, you take a quarter, whatever. A quarter goes to me, you take a quarter, whatever, because they're going to all the nations. So they said above all the nations. Right? Okay. And they go as servants under pressure. So hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to leave it there. But you understand that your mind, the way you're thinking, right? See? And that's why people have to get their own mind back, because right now you'll be thinking against yourself. See? Because the pressure, because you're going to feel the pressure here, because you got a mind that responds to that pressure. You got their mind. Once their mind's gone, you're going to respond to it like that. You respond badly where they respond, because you got that mind. So your mind's removed, that mind, your mind's given back to you. So now you're going to respond to that pressure with an angel mind. So you're going to, right? You're not going to be violent and that stuff. You're going to come to unity. You're going to achieve Hajj. But if you hold on to that, theirs, then you're going to be right. Acting like them. But remember, your thoughts is not causing the pressure, it's response to it. So if you feel the pressure in a violent way, you're going to be thinking violently. If the pressure is overwhelming, then you're going to be thinking that's why their wisdom will not work. You understand? Your thoughts is response, it's reaction to the pressures. So the devils, because they feel the pressure so great, they're violent. They move around faster, colliding, like burn up everything, collide everything because they're on fire. And people say, "See how strong they are?" No, that means they're succumbing to the pressure. Our people are hardly doing anything because they ain't feeling the pressure. You know, initially, before I really understood that well, I said, "Man, people ain't moving." I said, "Hey, they ain't moving because they solid still. The pressure ain't bombing that much." See? But when they get, but it says, "Momentous in the heavens and earth, but it come of a sudden." So that means we've already received the energy, but earth has absorbed it. It's momentous in the heavens and earth, but it come of a sudden. So earth, like I said, the earth converts the form we can use. So apparently that full blast hasn't been realized yet. But it said all of a sudden. So at some point in time, is that what Master Palmer waiting for? Because we're waiting for the Levites to know for them. But is that what we're waiting for? Because he can detect it. Because at that point, it says come of a sudden. But when we know, if we talk about energy, when it does come, it's going to be a sudden change. Like you wake up in the morning, and man, you got all this energy. Where did that come from? But it's going to energize everybody differently. Well, that's why everything happens so fast, suddenly. It happens so fast, suddenly. It happens so fast, suddenly. So they turn the steam. Right? I think people get enough energy to come together. They attack. Demons separate out. All this happens suddenly. Momentous was in heaven and earth, but it comes all of a sudden. Let me understand that, brothers and sisters. Okay, last thing, this I said all about math. This reality, this reality is based on the sealed Bible. The angel math is much greater than this. That means that math overrides this math. And their minds can only comprehend the math they have. That means their minds are destroyed. Because they can't deal with a more complicated reality of a higher math. But you can, that's why you got the angel. But you have a gym, you have to choose to work out or not. You have to choose to climb that ladder. You have to choose to do it. Nobody's going to make you do it. You have to choose to do it. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. So, hope you understand. So perhaps tomorrow. In more detail. But that shit show they had today, boy, was pathetic. See right through it. They're desperate over there. How we gonna hold on to this one, Farrakhan? Going, he's still alive, man. He's remember a star, man. A star is dead, but he's still didn't. He's not getting life from it. That's dumb stuff, boy. Dumb stuff. It's true, yeah. You just get light, the star is dead. So that's what they're trying to say. Farrakhan's gone, but man, he's still alive because you're still getting the life from him. That whole thing, that's what it's all about. It's not going to work. Momentous was in the heaven and earth, but kind of all of a sudden. They said all this stuff happened one day, suddenly. Put all these things together. Means you're going to be energized. Our people be energized, and that vector removed. And that vector turns to steam. Has no control anymore. Steam is hot, it burns you up. But it's not a vector going like this, a vector going every direction. That means it has no power. Right? Well, it has power, put it like this here. Right? You take a shotgun, then you take one bullet, right? And take that same bullet and make it scatter. Okay, now you got, it's broken to 1,000 parts, right? Each part hits something, but if it hits you, it's not going to have the impact that one bullet, whole bullet hitting you. See what I'm saying? You take that one bullet and you explode it, say, right? So it's spread out. And you take a bullet and aim it one direction. hit that one bullet, hit you in one direction. But if it's spread out, you only will get maybe a few particles of it. And so you get some, what do you call it, flak or whatever they call it? What do you call that stuff? Scrap metal or whatever. It won't kill you. See what I'm saying? So when you turn the steam, it's still fire, but that's spread out. So yeah, it's going to be hot going through tribulation. But you got the 5 pillars that handle all that. It's going to be hot. Right? Because it's steam. Steam is hot in fire. It'll burn you, but it's not concentrated. That's the difference. It's spread out. When they concentrate, it burn your ass up. Take some hot steam and focus it and see what happened to you. It's hot in fire. It's spread out. They turn the steam. Has no structure. See? So you go through the tribulation, it's going to be hot as hell. See? But it's spread out. And you can protect yourself from it. See? They don't have bullets anymore. They can't organize. Right? They will have an army initially, but it's going to be getting weaker by the minute. Eventually, they're going to try to martial law. They talk about martial law now. But eventually, they're going to have total control. Control the armies or anything. By the time goat rolls in, they won't have any army or anything. They just turn the steam and have no control of anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going to witness. You're going to watch them turn the steam as you move it through it, getting weaker and weaker and weaker. They turn total steam, and that's when goat rolls in, have no control. They can't have no military, anything. No structure. Close right in and wipe them out. That's just the master, brothers and sisters. But you achieve Hajj, so you have total control. That's if you achieve Hajj. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Mention was in the heaven and earth, but come of a sudden. So we know, and I said a new music would come with it, a whole new reality. And angels of seed, it's just, like you have a seed, but you need nourishment. The seed in the ground, then you need nourishment. Okay? So angel right here, you got to have a seed. If you don't have a seed, doesn't matter. Angels of seed here is about to be nourished. People start seeing the great light, it's about to be nourished. I'm going very fast. Assalamu alaikum.